Ladies, stop chasing, stop explaining, stop begging. You know what the most powerful thing a woman can do? Be silent. Let them wonder. Let them feel your absence. Let your silence echo louder than your words. Because when a woman stops speaking, the universe starts listening. You want respect? Be silent. You want loyalty? Be silent. You want peace? Be silent. Because silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's how queens rise while the world talks nonsense. When a woman speaks too much, she's often misunderstood. But when she chooses silence with strength, the whole room listens differently. Silence is not about suppressing your voice. It's about understanding that your voice is powerful enough to be reserved. In a world that rewards noise, being silent is revolutionary, especially for a woman. Because when you stop over-explaining, over-apologizing, and over-giving, you stop undervaluing yourself. Imagine a woman walking into a boardroom where she's the only one who doesn't speak unless she has something solid to say. Everyone else is rambling, trying to prove themselves. But when she speaks, short, deliberate, she changes the temperature of the entire room. That's respect, not because she shouted, not because she demanded attention, but because she embodied it. Her silence became her presence. Too many women think they have to talk more to earn a seat at the table. But power doesn't come from noise, it comes from depth. You don't see a lion roaring all day to prove it's a lion. It just sits, watches, waits. And when it moves, the jungle listens. You are the lioness. Stop roaring for approval. Just exist in your power. They will feel it. Have you ever walked away from a conversation thinking, why did I say so much? That's because you were trying to prove your worth to someone who wasn't even qualified to hear you. That's why silence is your best filter. When you're silent, the right people lean in. The wrong ones get uncomfortable. Either way, you win. Because silence cuts through noise like a blade through silk. Let's say someone insults you, disrespects you in front of others. Most people react, shouting, defending, breaking down. But imagine this. You just look at them. One long, piercing gaze. No words, just presence. Let them fill the silence with their own guilt. Let their words echo in the hollow space your silence creates. That's dominance. That's elegance. That's how queens handle nonsense. With stillness. Remember this always. People will respect you when they realize they can't predict you. And silence is your best weapon for unpredictability. If they know you'll always react, they'll always provoke you. But if they never know what you're thinking, you become powerful beyond measure. You don't have to play every card. Sometimes the most powerful move is to let them wonder what your next move even is. Silence is not submission. It's self-constraint. A woman who controls her emotions, her responses, her energy, she becomes untouchable. Have you ever seen a woman who doesn't react to insults, betrayal, or gossip? The room goes silent, not because of her fear, but because of her fearlessness. That's magnetic. That's unforgettable. In relationships, silence has a secret language. You want to teach someone how to treat you? Don't explain it 10 times. Go silent. When he plays games, don't play along. Don't chase. Don't cry. Don't scream. Just disappear into yourself. The silence will drive him mad before your words ever could. That's when he realizes, I lost a woman who respected herself enough to walk in silence. Even in friendships, silence speaks volumes. You don't have to expose fake friends. You don't have to argue with betrayal. Just stop showing up. Let your absence explain everything your mouth never needs to. Some people don't deserve a reaction. They deserve to feel your silence and live with the echo of it. Think of the most powerful women in history. They weren't the loudest. They were composed, strategic, poised. Their power wasn't just in what they said, it was in what they chose not to say. That's how you earn respect. Not by being louder, but by being wiser with your silence. Because when a woman becomes quiet, not because she's afraid, but because she's awake, the entire universe shifts. People begin to notice, not because of what you said, but because of who you didn't become when they expected you to break. Energy speaks louder than words. The system becomes powerful, and the system starts to become reset, not because of what you said, but because of who you didn't become when they expected you to break. Energy speaks louder than words. This is one of the greatest truths that many fail to recognize. You can say 1,000 things, but if your energy is off, your message falls flat. Conversely, a single glance, a calm breath, a composed posture can communicate more powerfully than a whole speech. Think about the times you've walked into a room and instantly felt the vibe. Maybe tension, maybe confidence, maybe warmth. That invisible force you sensed is energy, and it tells more truth than any word ever could. Have you ever noticed how some people command attention without uttering a single word? They don't need to boast or explain. Their presence alone shifts the atmosphere. This is the power of energy. It's the invisible language your body and soul speak every moment. When you cultivate positive, strong energy, people feel it. They respect it. They are drawn to it like moths to a flame. But if your energy is weak, uncertain, or chaotic, no amount of talking will convince anyone otherwise. Picture a woman who walks into a crowded room. She's quiet, reserved, but there's something about her, an aura of calm confidence. People turn their heads not because she's loud, but because her energy fills the space. This energy is magnetic. It says, I am enough. I know my worth. I don't need to prove it. You've seen it before. The way a leader, a queen, carries herself, even in silence. That energy leaves an imprint on the room, a memory that lingers long after she's gone. Now think about daily life. Conversations, arguments, encounters. We often focus on what we say and forget how we say it. A harsh tone, a doubtful glance, nervous fidgeting. These non-verbal signals betray what our words try to hide. A calm voice spoken with fiery energy moves mountains, but angry shouting with chaotic energy only destroys bridges. The truth is, people trust your energy more than your words because it's authentic, it's raw, it's real. Energy is contagious. When you show up with strong, positive energy, you uplift others. Your confidence inspires those around you to stand taller, dream bigger, and believe deeper. You don't even have to say, I believe in you. Your energy says it loud and clear. Have you ever met someone who just lifts your spirit without saying much? That's the kind of energy you want to embody. The energy that breathes life into others. There's also a lesson in how energy reveals character. In moments of stress or crisis, words can falter, but energy never lies. When someone's calm under pressure, their energy reassures everyone that they're capable and strong. When someone's anxious and scattered, their energy causes discomfort and doubt. The world watches your energy before it listens to your explanation. This is why mastering your energy is more important than mastering your speech. Think about your relationships. The way you carry your energy can make or break your connection. If you bring negativity, desperation, or insecurity, no amount of sweet words will fix the damage. But if your energy is stable, grounded, and loving, it nurtures trust and respect. A partner can feel your love in the warmth of your energy, even if you're silent. A friend can sense your support in the steadiness of your presence without a single word. This unspoken communication builds deeper bonds than conversations ever could. Energy also fuels your personal growth. When you fill yourself with positive energy, through meditation, movement, self-love, you build resilience. You become less affected by others' opinions, less dependent on external validation. Your energy becomes a fortress, protecting your peace. You start attracting opportunities, people, and experiences that resonate with your vibration. The universe matches the energy you put out. If you emit power, confidence, and calm, that's what you will receive. Every great leader, every influential figure you admire has mastered their energy. They understand that the way they feel inside radiates outward and influences everything around them. It's why they don't need to explain themselves constantly or seek approval in words. Their energy says it all. You have that same power inside you. A force that can silence a crowd or comfort a stranger, that can build dreams or break chains. You've probably noticed in your own life, sometimes you say the right thing, but the person still doesn't listen. Other times you say almost nothing, and your presence alone changes the entire conversation. That's energy at work. Words are just the surface, but energy is the ocean beneath. The deeper your energy, the stronger your impact. When you start caring less about what to say and more about how you carry your energy, you unlock a new level of influence and authenticity. People won't just hear you, they'll feel you. And in a world full of noise, being felt is the ultimate power. There is something incredibly magnetic about silence. When you choose to remain silent, especially in a world obsessed with oversharing, you create mystery. An aura that draws people in, making them want to know more about you. Mystery is a powerful force because it is rooted in the unknown. And humans are naturally curious beings. When they don't know everything about you, they fill the gaps with their imagination. This is how legends are born, how queens command respect, and how power quietly rises. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how the most intriguing people you've met don't reveal everything about themselves at once? They don't lay out their entire story or all their feelings in one go. Instead, they drop hints, they smile in silence, and they let their actions speak louder than their words. This silence creates layers. People start wondering, what is she thinking? What is she hiding? What is her next move? That's the essence of mystery. Not being fully accessible, not being an open book, but being a compelling story waiting to be discovered. In daily life, mystery can be your greatest asset. In a conversation, when you pause before responding, when you don't rush to fill every silence, you allow space for thought, for curiosity. People feel the tension and they lean in. Imagine two friends talking. One constantly talks and reveals every detail, while the other speaks less but with intention. Who do you think keeps the listener more captivated? The answer is obvious. Mystery isn't about being cold or distant. It's about valuing yourself enough to not expose all your cards at once. There's a lesson in every great romance story about mystery. When two people meet, the slow reveal is what keeps the spark alive. If one person shares everything right away, there is nothing left to discover. But when you stay silent, when you hold back just enough, you build anticipation. That anticipation creates desire, fascination, and ultimately respect. The silence is not emptiness. It's the space where attraction grows. This is why some of the most unforgettable women don't chase or explain. They are content to be beautifully mysterious. Even in your professional life, mystery can be your secret weapon. You don't need to broadcast every success, every plan, or every feeling. When you hold back and stay strategic, you become unpredictable and respected. People begin to watch you carefully, trying to decode your moves. They know you're someone who doesn't give away power lightly. This quiet confidence turns you into a leader who commands attention without shouting or proving yourself. Silence creates mystery not just in what you say, but in what you choose not to say. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response. When you don't react to gossip, negativity, or provocation, you make others uncomfortable because they can't read you. They're left guessing. And guesswork is the currency of fascination. In a world full of loud opinions and empty words, silence is the rare treasure that holds true value. Mystery also protects you. When you reveal everything about yourself, you give away your power and your vulnerabilities. But when you are mysterious, you control the narrative. You decide what others see and when. This control allows you to stay emotionally safe and focused on your own journey. It gives you the strength to walk away from situations and people that don't serve you, without the need to explain or justify. Consider the power of a woman who embraces her silence and mystery in her everyday interactions. She doesn't need to justify her choices or explain her silence to everyone who demands it. She understands that her worth is not determined by others' understanding or approval. Her silence says, I am more than what you see. I am a universe you have yet to explore. And that realization makes her unshakable. In family gatherings, friendships, romantic encounters, and work environments, being mysterious is like having an invisible shield. It protects you from unnecessary drama and keeps you poised. People respect you more because they know you don't spill your soul to just anyone. You have boundaries, and those boundaries create intrigue. Mystery is not about being secretive out of fear. It's about being wise enough to reveal yourself in the right time and to the right people. When you become a woman of mystery, you embody the paradox of being both present and elusive, strong and soft, silent and powerful. This balance is what sets queens apart from the rest. Mystery makes you unforgettable, irresistible, and respected because it taps into the deepest human desire. The desire to know, to discover, to be captivated by the unknown. Healing is not a loud process. It does not happen in the chaos of noise or the endless chatter of distractions. True healing comes in silence, in those quiet moments when you are alone with your thoughts. When the world fades away and you face yourself without defense or distraction. Silence becomes the sacred space where wounds begin to close, where pain softens, and where your soul gathers the strength to rise again. Think about how many times you have rushed through your pain, trying to fix it with noise, talking endlessly about it, seeking advice from everyone, or drowning your feelings in busyness. Sometimes this noise is just a way to avoid feeling the real hurt. But when you allow yourself to be silent, to sit with the discomfort without trying to escape, you give your mind and heart a chance to process and mend naturally. Silence is not emptiness. It is a fertile ground where your spirit regenerates. Imagine a woman who has faced heartbreak or loss. She doesn't need to announce her pain to the world or explain every detail of her suffering. Instead, she retreats into silence. She lets her tears fall in private, lets her thoughts wander, and allows her soul to cry and breathe at its own pace. This silence becomes her healing balm. It teaches her patience, self-compassion, and resilience. The world sees her quiet strength and knows she is not broken. She is rebuilding. In daily life, silence offers a refuge from the storm. When you are overwhelmed by stress, disappointment, or failure, the first instinct might be to speak out or act impulsively. But choosing silence is choosing wisdom. In that quiet space, you can observe your emotions without judgment. You can understand what truly hurts, what lessons are hidden beneath the pain. Silence gives you clarity that noise cannot provide. It allows your healing to be deep and lasting, not superficial or rushed. Healing in silence is also about reclaiming your power. When you stop reacting loudly to every trigger, you regain control over your emotions and your narrative. You no longer give away your peace to those who caused your pain. Instead, you protect your energy by stepping back and nurturing yourself quietly. This is the courage to face your wounds alone, without depending on external validation or sympathy. This is where true strength is born. Look at the natural world. When a tree loses a branch, it doesn't scream or struggle. It silently starts the process of healing, growing new buds and leaves over time. Humans are no different. Your body, mind, and spirit need quiet moments to repair themselves. Silence allows your nervous system to calm, your heart rate to slow, and your mind to find balance. It is in this calm that your body releases stress hormones and opens space for healing to take place. In relationships, silence can be a powerful tool for healing. After a painful argument or misunderstanding, rushing to explain or defend yourself often leads to more conflict. But choosing silence, giving yourself and the other person time and space, allows wounds to cool and perspective to grow. It is in this pause that forgiveness can emerge and hearts can start to mend. Silence here is not avoidance. It is the fertile silence of patience and love. Moments aren't empty. They are sacred invitations to reconnect with your inner self. They remind you that you are whole, even when you feel broken. Healing in silence is the gentle art of turning inward and trusting that you have all you need to overcome pain within you. Healing faster in silence also means honoring your own timing. Society often pushes us to move on quickly, to fix our pain with distractions or solutions. But true healing cannot be rushed. Silence teaches you patience. The patience to sit with your grief, your fears, your doubts, without judgment. This patience is a gift you give yourself. It allows your wounds to close naturally, like a river carving its path over years, not days. When you embrace silence, you open the door to self-discovery. You learn who you are beyond your pain. You realize that your suffering does not define you. It refines you. It carves out space for growth, for wisdom, and for peace. In silence, your soul whispers the truths you need to hear. Truths that are often drowned out by noise. Listening to these whispers is how you heal faster and stronger than ever before. There is a powerful force hidden in silence, the kind that turns heads and stirs minds. When you choose to be silent, when you refuse to fill every moment with words, you create a magnetic pull that draws people closer. Your silence makes them curious. It sparks a fire of wonder, questions, and fascination because human nature is wired to seek what is hidden, to crave what is unknown. And in a world full of noise, Being silent is the ultimate rebellion. It makes you unforgettable. You are silent. Makes you unforgettable. Think about the people you have encountered who didn't speak much but somehow held the room's attention effortlessly. It's not that they were shy or uninterested. It's that their silence spoke volumes. They didn't reveal everything about themselves. They kept some thoughts locked away, creating a natural intrigue. This curiosity makes others want to know your story, to understand the depths you carry beneath your calm exterior. Silence in this way is your secret language, one that invites others in without giving away all your cards. In everyday life, this dynamic plays out in subtle but profound ways. Imagine a meeting where everyone is talking over each other, desperate to be heard. But you remain calm, listening, observing, waiting. Your silence sends a message. You are confident, you are in control, and you don't need to prove yourself with words. This makes people curious. Why is she not rushing to speak? What is she thinking? That curiosity naturally draws them toward you, opening doors for respect and influence. Your silence is like a pause in a song that makes the next note more powerful. When you don't explain yourself repeatedly, when you don't respond to every comment or question immediately, you create space. And in that space, curiosity grows. People begin to notice details they might have missed before. The way you carry yourself, the subtle expressions on your face, the energy you radiate. This is where true attention begins, not from noise, but from the mystery you create by choosing silence. Consider personal relationships. When someone is always talking, always explaining, the words can lose meaning because there is no mystery left. But when you practice silence, you become like a puzzle others want to solve. They want to understand what you think, what you feel, what your next move might be. This curiosity makes interactions more meaningful and engaging. It's a gentle power that shifts the balance. You no longer chase attention. Attention comes to you. In family or social gatherings, silence can shift the entire atmosphere. When you speak less but with intention, people notice. They start wondering about your story, your opinions, your emotions. This curiosity is a sign of respect and fascination. It means you have created space for others to listen deeply when you do decide to speak. Your words then carry weight because they are rare and valued. This is how silence transforms from being perceived as absence to being felt as presence. Baksiakti heya la pare mate shaki. This curiosity may be the most powerful power in the world. When you speak less, but with intention, you can bring peace to a city. When you speak, your silence also protects your personal space. When you don't give away your thoughts or feelings too quickly, you control your narrative. Others can't easily predict your reactions or motives, which keeps them intrigued and respectful. This is especially important in situations where trust must be earned or where power dynamics are at play. Silence becomes a shield. It hides your vulnerabilities and reveals your strength. Think about how curiosity works in the world of art, literature, or film. The most captivating stories are those that don't reveal everything at once. They leave room for interpretation, for imagination, for wonder. Your silence does the same in real life. It leaves room for others to imagine your greatness, your complexity, your depth. It invites them to come closer, to invest in knowing you better. And that investment is priceless. There is also a quiet confidence in silence that speaks louder than words ever could. When you don't feel the need to fill every silence with talk, you show that you are comfortable with yourself. You don't seek validation. you command it. This confidence makes others curious. They want to know how you maintain such poise. What secrets you hold that make you so grounded. Your silence becomes a beacon, attracting those who are drawn to strength wrapped in mystery. Your silence makes them curious because it challenges the norm. In a culture obsessed with sharing and oversharing, your choice to remain silent stands out. It is a bold statement that you are not just another voice in the crowd. You are a presence that demands attention, not by shouting, but by withholding. And that withholding creates a powerful pull, an irresistible curiosity that makes others lean in, listen closer, and ultimately respect the enigma that is you. Silence is not weakness, it is comfort. There is a path to silence and not weakness. It is not emptiness or surrender. Silence is a weapon. A powerful, royal weapon that a queen wields with unmatched grace and wisdom. When you understand silence as a tool, you stop reacting impulsively, stop giving your energy away carelessly, and instead, you become the master of your own realm. A queen does not need to shout to be heard. Her silence commands attention and respect. It disarms, it controls, and it wins battles without a single word spoken. In daily life, how often do we rush to speak, to explain, to defend ourselves? We fill every pause with noise, afraid that silence will make us vulnerable or misunderstood. But a queen knows that silence is strength. Imagine a heated argument where everyone is shouting, trying to overpower each other with words. The queen remains calm and silent. Her silence cuts through the chaos like a sharp sword, making others stop, think, and reconsider. It's not about being cold, it's about strategic restraint. Silence in this moment becomes a weapon that ends the conflict without adding fuel to the fire. Think of business leaders who don't feel the need to boast or brag. They listen more than they speak. Their silence creates a space where others reveal more than intended, giving the quiet leader insight and power. This is the queen's weapon. She listens, absorbs, and then acts at the right time with precision. Her silence is a fortress protecting her plans, and a sword ready to strike when necessary. This restraint turns silence into a weapon of influence and success. In relationships, silence can be the ultimate expression of power. When someone tries to provoke you, pulling you into needless drama or arguments, your silence is a refusal to be manipulated. It shows you are above the petty games and will not be dragged down by chaos. A queen knows that silence is often louder than words because it signals control. It tells others you are not desperate for approval or caught up in emotions. You are calm, collected, and sovereign of your own peace. Every queen has faced moments where silence was the most potent weapon she could wield. In moments of betrayal, silence guards her dignity. Instead of reacting in anger or pain, she steps back, lets the world watch her composed demeanor, and silently rebuilds her kingdom stronger than before. Her silence speaks volumes, without her needing to explain or justify. It's a quiet but fierce statement. She is untouchable, unbreakable, and in control. Silence is also a weapon against negativity and toxic people. When faced with criticism, gossip, or envy, responding impulsively only fuels their fire. But a queen chooses silence, refusing to engage in battles that do not serve her growth or peace. This silent stance is a boundary, a powerful shield that says, I will not waste my energy on what diminishes me. Others may not immediately understand it, but over time they learn that silence is her fortress, her sword, and her crown. Look at historical queens and leaders who understood this truth. Their silence was not ignorance but strategy. Their quiet moments were filled with reflection, planning, and unshakable confidence. They knew when to speak and when to remain silent, knowing that silence amplifies the power of their words when they do choose to use them. Their silence was a weapon that carved out empires, inspired nations, and commanded loyalty. Silence is a weapon that sharpens your focus. When you stop filling your mind and mouth with constant noise, you can listen deeply, not just to others, but to your own intuition. This internal clarity is the Queen's secret weapon. It guides her decisions, protects her from illusions, and helps her navigate life's challenges with wisdom and strength. Silence gives you the power to choose your battles and emerge victorious. When you learn to use silence like a queen, you realize it is the ultimate form of respect. Respect for yourself and for others. It teaches you to value your words so much that you only speak when it matters. It shows that you are confident enough to trust your silence to speak for you. This kind of silence does not isolate. It connects on a deeper level. It draws people toward your presence because they sense the power and peace within you. Silence as a weapon is not about domination. It is about mastery. Mastery over your emotions, your reactions, and your life. When you wield silence wisely, you no longer need to prove yourself. Your silence tells the world that you are a queen, respected, powerful, and unshakable. Because you have mastered the art of saying less and commanding more. To wrap this journey, remember this. Silence is not the absence of strength. It is the presence of power. In a world screaming for attention, your silence will be your loudest roar. When you embrace the quiet within, you embrace your true self. Unapologetic, unstoppable, and undeniably royal. As the great philosopher Rumi said, silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation. In your silence, you speak a language so profound that words could never capture its depth. It is in that space where your soul's voice echoes the loudest. The most successful, influential, and inspiring people are not those who talk the most, but those who speak the least and mean the most. They understand that sometimes the greatest answer is no answer at all, that a pause can carry more weight than 1,000 explanations. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years of silence in prison. Your silence too can be that revolutionary force, the catalyst that changes your story and shakes the world around you. Remember the words of Maya Angelou, who reminded us that when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Silence allows you to observe without judgment, to protect your heart from the noise of negativity and chaos. It is a royal armor that guards your peace and preserves your dignity. Silence lets you rise above the drama, the gossip, and the distractions, standing tall with the quiet confidence of a queen who knows her worth. In silence, you cultivate patience. And patience is not passive. It is power in waiting. Like a seed buried deep beneath the earth, your potential grows quietly until the moment is right to burst forth in full bloom. Think of the bamboo tree that spends years growing its roots underground before shooting up into fruit. In silence lets you grow forth in weak. Your silence is your roots. Unseen but vital, strengthening you for the greatness you are destined to achieve. There is also unmatched wisdom in silence. The Dalai Lama teaches us that silence is sometimes the best answer. When you resist the urge to react immediately, when you take a breath instead of speaking impulsively, you gain clarity and control. Silence gives you the space to choose your words, your actions, and your path with intention. It transforms you from a person driven by emotion into a person guided by wisdom. And never forget the power of silence in love and relationships. True connection is not found in constant chatter, but in the sacred space between words. The moments when you simply are with someone, listening, feeling, and understanding beyond what is spoken. Silence nurtures empathy, trust, and intimacy. It teaches you that sometimes the most profound expression of love is a shared quiet, a presence that says, I am here for you, without need for words. To those who fear silence, fearing loneliness or misunderstanding, I say this: learn to cherish the company of your own soul. There is no greater companion than the voice within that guides you, comforts you, and ignites your dreams. As Oprah Winfrey once said, the biggest adventure you can take is to live the life of your... That adventure begins in silence, in tuning out the noise of the world and tuning into your true calling. So today, claim your silence like a queen claims her throne. Let your quiet strength be the foundation on which you build your empire. Use silence as your sword to cut through confusion, your shield to protect your peace, and your crown to signify the power you hold within. The world may try to drown you in noise, but your silence will be your victory song, a melody of resilience, wisdom, and grace that echoes far beyond words. This is your time to rise, not with noise, but with the unstoppable force of silence. Because when you master the art of silence, you master the art of life itself. And as Winston Churchill once said, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Be courageous, be royal, be silent. And watch how everything you desire comes to you not by shouting, but by the power of your quiet, commanding presence.